Good morning, everybody. I am so excited to have you to join me today to learn about government contracts and government certifications. My name is Michelle Lenore, and I talk all things about government contracts and their certifications, the purpose of the certifications, and along how to use LinkedIn to leverage those same certifications. So today we're going to jump right into it. If you have any questions, I sometimes it allows me to see all the questions. I am going live on several platforms. So again, if I don't see your question, I will see it later after this live. So let's get into it. So today we are going to pretty much talk about um, DBEs, okay? And as you guys see, my slides were not in order. So DBE is for disadvantaged business enterprises, and I get a lot from my clients or clients to be, should I apply? Do I qualify? It's like, what are they looking for? So some of the things that I come right off the bat is first of all, have you filed your personal taxes within the last 3 to 5 years? If you have not filed your personal taxes within the last 3 5 years, stop. I mean, you can listen to this, you can prepare. There's nothing wrong with getting prepared. I do have a list. You can get prepared, but you need to go ahead and get those taxes filed. Okay. And the other thing right here that I have is that is at least 51% of your business is owned by a socially or economically disadvantaged individual. So this is always a great conversation to have. Who is considered as disadvantaged? Disadvantage is pretty much considered as a woman. So if you are a female within the United States, even within Canada, so I will put Canada in this lump, then you qualify. If whatever country, so I'm talking about Canada and the US, Puerto Rico, and the Virgin Islands, if you are considered under the US government that you are a minority, then guess what? You qualify for this. Now, the next thing is that if you are 51% or more. So this one, I get a lot like, okay, so I'm a black female, my husband, he's a black male. Do we qualify? Yes, you do qualify for this particular certification. But the thing is that you would only qualify as disadvantaged business enterprise. You would not qualify as a woman-owned disadvantaged business enterprise. This also goes into the same thing for veterans. So again, if both of you guys are veterans, great. You can qualify as the VOSB or SDVOSB. We're not going to talk about that today, but just to give you an idea, who can qualify and who can't. Another question from this I get is that, okay, I'm a black female. My husband's the veteran. Which certification should I go with? There's opportunities for both sides, but you could not be both a woman-owned small business and a veteran-owned small business if that person is not one in the same. So that's something that you most definitely you want to consider and look at. But pretty much for the DBE or the ACDBE, you have to be working with the Department of Transportation. And so you'll see DOT, which is Department of Transportation. If you're doing any type of construction or transportation, this is great for the trucking industry and the transportation industry. And even if you are a consultant, so any type of consulting, this falls for any industry because within those industries for construction and things like that, they need food. So that for the concessions, so they need what you have. This is really important. And then we're going to talk about right here at the end, the firm meets the Small Business Administration size. So we will most definitely talk about that. You do already know if you are a U.S. citizen or if you qualify as a permanent resident. Again, these are things that you will know already. Okay. And so the department's Disadvantaged Business Enterprise program is designated to remedy ongoing discrimination and the continuing effects of past discrimination within the highway, transit, airport, and highway safety financial assistance. Again, why was this program created? Because a lot of large companies, large groups within the technology space, the construction space, the transportation space, the consulting space, that as a small business, we cannot compete with them. So having this type of certification is really important. And the Department of Transportation realized that they needed it. Again, the acronym for DBE stands for Disadvantaged Business Enterprise. All right. So what are your program goals? So to get certified, this is another thing that I work with my clients with is like, do you have a program in place? Just because you have a business, that does not mean that you are an asset to the Department of Transportation. If you're not an asset for the Department of Transportation, they have no reason to go ahead and give you this certification. So you guys hear me talk really big about program. What program do you have in place to help others? And the program goals for this is, does your program feed into their program? Okay. So this is really, really important. Do your skills, do your products, do your supplies really feed into their program and what they're looking for? And as you see, they're always looking to help minorities and woman-owned business. This is really, really huge. So, how could DBE certification help my business? And this is great because I get these questions all the time. Michelle, I'm in the beauty business. Michelle, I'm in consulting. Michelle, I'm in childcare. Believe it or not, when we look at construction, we have a lot more females who are in the construction space, and we might be single parents and we need help with our children. So, how would this help? This, first of all, it helps your business that you are offering a service that others would not consider, especially coming from the female standpoint. We have different challenges than men, so we need this help. So the DBE certifications help you to compete for contracts on federally funded transportation projects. Again, you may not have the finances in place, right? So if you don't have the finances in place compared to someone, a company that is building a MetLife building or a Fidelity building, when they change campuses, then within that contract, it is stated, guess what? You need to have a business that is DBE certified, that has this certification. So not only are you partnering with a very large company, right? You're getting the experience from them. And then also you are getting that money that comes with that contract. A lot of the contracts, they start at the lowest I've seen a contract that they've requested, a percentage is at 5%. The highest I've seen is 60%. So this is great when you're coming across very, very large contracts. And when you have that certification, a business is very much, a large business is very much looking and willing to go ahead and partner up with you. So does my business need DBE certification to bid on a federal funded highway project? And of course, the answer is no. You can bid as a small business. But the question is, will that particular department, will the government look at your business? Because they will look at your business. They will ask for your finances. So do you have a financial system in place to show your finances? Are you in the red or are you in the black when it comes to your finances? If they're asking you to do a $10 million project, do you have the collaborations in place? If you don't have the collaborations in place, because they can ask you that. They want you to succeed. They want this project to succeed. Because guess what? If they're unable to go ahead and fulfill this project, they have to pay a penalty. And guess who else gets penalized? You go ahead and you get penalized too. And you never want to get penalized for not being prepared. and for not being in place. And so they will ask you some very hard questions when you get certified. So you do need to be certified. Like I said, the top thing is taxes. If you have not done your taxes, then go ahead. If you don't know how to do your taxes, get a CPA. You can research how to do your taxes. If you're a small enough business, some business owners can go ahead and do their taxes. Okay. So, do DBEs as the prime contractor on a project meet the project's federal minority inclusion goal? So this is great. So you can be going in as a prime and you can still be DBE certified. The thing is, are you reaching, right, what the percentage is for that particular contract? So if the contract is asking for 10%, okay, so 10% of the DBE being certified, that means that subcontractor have to do at least 10% of that work. So you cannot partner up with someone who just have the certification and they're not doing any of that work. They will look at that information, and you do not want to mislead anyone, because if you mislead, then both of you guys can be disbarred from the program, and you can never again come back into the program. That's an issue, is either as a subcontractor or as a prime, because there's millions upon billions of dollars out there. So if that subcontractor don't meet the bill, that's okay. But if you're a prime contractor and you know that you're supervising it and you connect with a company that's larger than you, guess that's it's a win-win, because you're a part of all of the ins and outs for that particular project. So a great question that I always get is, Michelle, how do I know that I qualify as a small business? How do I know that I meet the standards? This is a great question to ask. What NICS codes? So the NICS codes help you figure out if you qualify as a small business. I do advise you to take your time and take a look at the NICS codes. Take a look at what you're planning to do in the future. What are you currently doing? Who you're planning to partner with? You can use those NICS codes. So one of the things about the NICS codes that I talk about here is, you can choose the wrong NICS codes. You do not want to choose the wrong NICS codes. So if you're choosing a NICS code, so one example is that if you're choosing a NICS code that has that the most that you can make within a year, if you don't go over that, is $30 million. Okay. So within that $30 million, they do look at the average. You're looking at the average between 3 to 5 years. Okay. So you could again make, and if you saw my quick snippet, you can make $30 million in 1 year. And then they'll do the average over the last 3 to 5 years. So, you do the math, so they divide it by 3. That's just an average of $10 million. And then it's spread out more, within 5 years. Now, if for some reason for the next few years, if you continue to get $30 million within contracts, right, what you need to do from there is you need to know what are other NICS codes that are out there that is very similar to the work that you are doing. Because if you don't do that, that will boot you out of the program. And so you are no longer considered as a DBE, which is a disadvantaged business enterprise. Now you're considered as a prime. But if you're only making $30 million a year, guess what? And someone else is making $300 million a year, you are competing with that company. So be very cognizant of your NICS codes. Depending on what state you're in, you can update your primary NICS code. So you have several NICS codes. I always encourage you to have at least 3 NICS codes. And then from there, you can have as many as you want, depending on what the state needs. They may not accept all of your NICS codes. So please be aware of that you're like, well, I put down 10 NICS codes, Michelle, but When I went into the program, they only accepted 3. That's what they decided to do. So that's why I always encourage people to do by the minimum 3 to 5 NICS codes. Okay. So places to go ahead and look up the NICS codes. There is NICS.com that you can look up, NICS.org. You can look up NICS codes on Google. You can look up your NICS codes on the census, census.gov. This is really important because guess what? Your NICS codes, they can expire. So you do have to stay on top of this. I do have a listing to show the most common NICS codes used for this year and for next year. So the government, they do have that information out. The most popular ones, the most popular 51 that's out there that you want to use. And of course, if it falls underneath what you do, then those are the ones that you choose. Now, there's some other NICS codes that are out there that are risky. But the thing is that if you realize that this is what your organization does, don't shy back from that. Okay. So if you sell alcohol, if you sell tobacco, if you've heard of some type of gambling, again, that doesn't negate that you won't get that type of certification, but they will take a look at your information to go ahead and see, like, okay, how does this apply to our program? Because if it doesn't apply to the program, then they may say, okay, this doesn't apply to our program, but maybe you should consider X, Y, and Z. Also, if you're in the financial services, that's another high risk one that the government looks at, because a lot of people, they claim about certain type of money that they can get into your business. So the government is very, very leery about that. So you have to be on point about what you are offering. Again, if you have a program in place, then with that program in place, they would want to go ahead and take a look at that program, and they take a look at that program and they're like, oh, this program is going to help the community. As long as the program is helping the community, the program is helping small businesses, the program is helping construction workers, transportation. Again, all of this is looked at before you get this certification. So these certifications are huge. Why do I know about these certifications? How do I know about these certifications? I am minority certified within over 40 states. So I can walk you through this. I can talk you through this. Also, and you guys may say, Michelle, why are you talking so much about these NICS codes? These NICS codes, they can give you so much insight that they can also help you with market research. So when you have this market research, you can look at your competitors. You can see how much money that your market competitors have made under this particular NICS code. So if you're feeling like, oh, I'm not sure if I can make money with this, anything you do, everything you do, the government needs you. A corporation needs you. So earlier today, I was on a prayer call. Some of you guys know that I follow Dr. Tiffany K. Jordan, and you may wonder, like, does she make money? She just said today that through consultation, okay, that some of her clients are paying her from 5 to 6 figures to get consultation from her. And if you notice that, if you ever watch the NFL, and I'm sure this is for the NBA, they actually have chaplains. They hire chaplains to pray over the teams. So even though this may not translate for the government, you could still use those skill sets and as in consultation. Okay. So you can still have that as consultation, as long as your business is not, as we call, like faith-based, but if it's leadership-based, but you have a faith-based piece in there, then you can still work with the government. So one of the other big questions that I get is that, Michelle, I am a non-profit. Can I apply for this program? You cannot. You cannot apply as DBE, ACDBE, MBE, or WBE as a nonprofit under the government. The government has other type of programs for you. So most definitely check out grants.gov. for a lot of nonprofit opportunities. And if you're a nonprofit, if you're a nonprofit and you have a for-profit, then you can get certified under the for-profit and begin to do services for your nonprofit underneath there. So there's some ways that you can benefit as a nonprofit as long as you have a for-profit, or as a nonprofit, you work with other for-profits. Okay, so which is really really great. So I'm super excited to get you guys questions. I'm excited about you going to the next level and getting the certifications. I've been able to help different clients within the transportation space, the beauty space, either childcare space, to get certified and prepare them for these contracts that's out there. If you're in the transportation space, that's why I have Kameel Gaines testimony. This is a testimony that's up there, that she put out here for me. I'm super excited about that. She's in transportation, and she is a small business, and she's also a global business. So if you guys are watching this and you need someone who is certified, she's certified. She is a woman-owned business, so she's certified as Black-owned, woman-owned, small-owned business within the transportation space. I know a lot of the large corporations are looking for that. I know you guys are looking to partner with somebody like that. She is ready to partner with you. So I wanted to highlight her. And then also, she has a niche or a niche, all depends how you say it, that she's global. So she can also show you how to go global. It's like, are you ready to go global? So she is able to help you to go global, how to set up a business. And again, so she can partner with you within the small business. But then, like I said, with the Fortune 500s, because a lot of Fortune 500s are looking for businesses just like yours. One person asked me, like, Michelle, what does that entail? Why would I want to have this certification? Guess who has certifications or contracts with the government that almost like everybody has on their computer? Microsoft. Microsoft has government contracts within the technology space. What software do you believe that their members are using from all the way from Hawaii to New York, right? So within those contracts, they have that you have to have this percentage within those contracts that are part of these contracts. All right. So when you're saying like, oh my God, Microsoft, yes, Microsoft, if you're in the food industry, so if you guys ever heard of Bird's Eye, right? It's the frozen food, it's the frozen vegetables. They have contracts with the government. So don't think like, oh my gosh, I'm in the food industry. The government have to feed their people, right? So we will talk more about more on the national level. But the great thing about DBE is you get certified in your state, and then you can get certified in another state. And so that's called the interstate, the interstate DBE process. Again, this is a great opportunity for you guys to go ahead, get certified, get money that belongs to you. Now is the time. So if you guys have any other questions, you have questions about, again, the DBE process, how it can help me, then please reach out to me, or you can go, and I think I'm pointing right below. You can go to my site, take a look at, like, again, what are the advantages? Okay, I do have one question here. And the question is, Michelle, how does this work for partnerships? So you want to look at the partnerships. Again, what is the percentage of that partnership? If you have anyone that is a part of that partnership that is not a minority, and the first one is usually a white male, then they want to see what is the percentage that he is bringing into that company. They will look at a lot of your information. If you are a minority female, and your husband is a white male, okay? So they'll see and see how much input he has into your business. And if it looks like that he's controlling your business and you're not controlling your business, then you would not qualify for that certification. So they do look at everything. They're looking at your finances, they're looking at who has control of the business. And this goes across all of the certifications. And I say all certifications just like that. If you are a Fortune 500 company, and you're like, Michelle, I have the perfect subcontractor. They're not certified yet. So when you see that, guess what? I can help you out with that. I have programs that will help get your subcontractors certified so you can confidently bid on those $1 billion contracts. Because again, within those $1 billion government contracts, they're asking for 5%, 10%, 25%. 60%. Again, that's the highest that I've seen is 60%. If you have those subcontractors in place, you have the experience, they have the certifications, you guys can work together. This is a win-win. If you are a subcontractor, if you're a small business, talk to your prime about this. Talk to the large corporation about this. Like, I know that we could work together. I just need help to get certified. I know somebody who can help me get certified. So again, this is a win-win because they have the money, they have, they have the resources. And again, they are looking for you. So there's no such thing as I'm too small. They need your I'm too small. There is no such thing as my company's too big. You guys have revenue goals, and this affects some of you guys. Um, your money at the end of the day. This affects your bonuses. So if you know your department is not reaching what they're supposed to in supplier diversity, this is a great way to go ahead and get your subcontractors certified so y'all can get those nice bonuses. So again, like I said, this is a win-win for everybody across the board. Tomorrow, I will come back and I will talk to you guys about the woman-owned small business and a little bit more about what is some of the documents that is needed, that is asked for these type of certifications and how it can benefit your company. So sorry guys, tomorrow's about the woman-owned small business. But if you're married and your wife is 51%, guess what? This is a great segment. If you're in partnership with your mom, she's 51%, your sister 51%, or if you have a female business partner who's 51%, this is really great for you guys. It does not matter as long as she is a woman and is 51% or more. This is another great certification for her to go ahead and get. And guess what? You can have multiple certifications. So when you have multiple certifications, then it's like, guess what? This is really good to go. So I got another question. Are there government contracts for beauty brands? Yes. I just posted something about for Texas, within Texas, that so I'll talk with first about the barbers and then I'll go into the beauty brands. Within Texas, the the prisons, they were looking for a barber shop program for their inmates who are about to leave, right? So if they know that their inmates are about to leave in like 6 months, they want to prepare them so they can succeed. It's just not cutting hair. They want the program to show, like, first, this is what you have in place for them to cut their hair. Next, this is how to build a successful business. They don't want them coming back into that system. They want them to be successful. And we know that Texas is humongous. So having that within the Texas prison systems, you can just, if you wanted to, you could just stay in Texas and build your program from there and make millions upon millions of dollars because Texas is that large. And then also outside of Texas, a lot of times the same programs that are in one state, you have sister states. So whatever that's close to Texas. So if it's New Mexico, they're looking for maybe a similar program. There's been such success. They're looking for you. So you are being referred. You're being referred about opportunity that wouldn't have been out there unless your program was so great. So going into the beauty brands, within the beauty brands, yes, there are government contracts out there for beauty brands. One of the things that the government realized, everybody cannot use the soap and the lotions that are in the state buildings. That's in the federal buildings. It breaks them out, different things like that. So sometimes you'll see things in the dispenser, and then sometimes you'll see things right there that's on the sinks. That's something a little separate. That's for sensitive skin. Okay, so you can talk about that this particular brand doesn't have alcohol in it. It doesn't have shea butter. It doesn't have aloe vera, or it does have aloe vera in it, or it does have shea butter, but it doesn't have petroleum jelly that makes people break out. That's one way. Another way is, and I know I keep talking about the prison system, but there's a lot of money in the prison system. You can pretty much guide your particular product for women of color, okay, and say, okay, we can't use, we'll say Jergens, and I use Jergens because Jergens used to break me out. I used to use it, and it would break me out on my hand, and then when I study and when I type, I would touch the bottom of my face and my face would break out. So again, you can pretty much say, okay, my product does this, and I can put it in, whatever type of a container it needs to be in. Maybe they just need it in a plastic bag and then they put it in special containers. But you can let them know, guess what? I have these particular beauty products that is for the hair, for the skin, things like that, because people are incarcerated. That doesn't mean that the people who are watching them, the prison that's watching them, that they don't need them to be comfortable. You know what I'm saying? They're people. They've made a mistake. Now they're in the system. Let's not, okay, make them feel worse. The other thing with this particular beauty brand is that you can have a program. I talk real big on programs. The government is looking for programs. You can have a program in place that helps women make their own product and then make a business from those brands. So, do you have a program in place? Because if you don't have a program in place, do you want this just to be one and done? Do you want to be afford to be transactional? Because some people, that's all that they want. Other people, they want to grow within the government system. Do you have a program in place? So hopefully, I'm sorry, Facebook user, like I said, sometimes I don't see who's asking the questions, but that's a very, very good question. Another question is, what about childcare? A lot of, because of COVID-19, a lot of people they still do not feel comfortable about leaving their children when they go out of town. And within the government space, when it's like a mandatory event that they have to go to, then guess what? They are providing childcare. Now, how do they find childcare? They're looking for childcare within that difference, within that space. So let me tell you, of course, if you are a viable childcare worker, you don't have a criminal record and things like that. They may dive a little deeper, because if we're talking about different corporals or generals, their children perhaps might be targets, right? So if they're targets, but they still need the child care, then they may ask you to do a specialized background check. But baby, let me tell you, once you pass that, and you are in and you're taking care of their children, then you will get referral after referral after referral. So yes, those are opportunities that's out there for childcare. Let's see. I have another question. What opportunities are available for mental health? Oh my gosh, that's everywhere for mental health. It really kicked up. You guys will hear me talk about COVID-19. Mental health not only can fall under mental health, it can also fall under leadership. What is your mindset? And so for the mental health, you can take your program, you can go as small as preschool. Okay, there's programs in the education space. So under early childhood development or early childhood education, Maria and I, we were on yesterday. So if you saw the live that her and I did, we did an impromptu live. We were talking about different things concerning mental health. You can partner up with someone concerning mental health under domestic violence. So there was quite a few within Wisconsin, but that's everywhere. We were just looking up Wisconsin. So you can have a mental health piece there. You can have it within the foster homes. You can have it when the children age out and they're about to go out of the foster homes and they become adults. There's money in that in between. So if anybody is in that child, and so I need to say that if anybody is in that in between where you know that you can help children transitioning out of the foster homes into the world, that is a huge space that is really, really untapped. That can be under career, as someone reached out, mental health. This can be education. This can be the barber program, the beauty program. This is almost any program. They don't want these kids to go to jail. You know, they were already in the foster home. They want them to succeed. Okay. And if you have a program out there like that, oh my gosh, there is just so much opportunity. So again, in the mental health, you can go as young as the preschools, you can go into elementary schools, you can go into the middle schools or junior high schools, you can go into the high schools, you can go into the colleges, you can go into the corporations, you can go into any type of disability, you can go into the elderly homes because there's opportunities out there for that. You know, me, I can go on and on with that. It's like, how big are you thinking? You know, the sky is the limit, you know, because again, some of these, unfortunately, some of these high schoolers, they're still having the effects of COVID 19. And then if you don't want to go that deep, then for the mental health, you can just be, you know, some people are built for this. So when I say this with the like, oh, but when unfortunately, when a child passes away in high school or in middle school or junior high school, they need counselors. They need somebody to talk to. They need somebody to talk to. Yes, Facebook user. I don't know who this is. Yes, I will be at the Trailblazers retreat. I'm so excited. Oh my gosh. I started picking out my stuff and everything. I was like, okay, I'm laying this out. I'm laying this out. I'm wear these shoes, all of this stuff. So I'm super, super excited. I'm super excited about it. So yes, I'll be at the Trailblazers retreat. So if you guys don't know about the Trailblazers retreat, like I said, you know, to follow Dr. Tiffany K. Jordan, she has a Trailblazers retreat for trailblazers, for leaders, for us to go there to refresh, to let go. This is, hey, Tiffany. Yes, Tiffany Lauderdale. Yes, I will be there. This is just a great opportunity for you to get realigned, to talk, to speak with others that are connected with you. This is great because I know some of the people are going to be there. They're government certified. So you know, when I look at stuff, I look at networking. Networking is that's where a lot of things are going and growing for me. And then just going back to the certifications, like right now, I am working on 3 to 4 projects that deals with these certifications and collaboration. Okay. So again, if you're not sure what to do with that certification, get certified, but talk with your network because somebody's going to say, oh my gosh, I saw something. So I just spoke to somebody, it was like a closed mouth don't get fed. When you let folks know that you got that you received a certification, then now their antennas is out and say, hey, have you seen this? Hey, have you looked at this? Hey, have you seen that? You know, all of this stuff. So so another certification that came across, somebody, we were just having a conversation with I was just having a conversation with one of my clients. She was like, well, Michelle, one of my other specialties is content writing, note taking. I was like, oh my gosh, I wish I would have known there was a contract out there that the Navy was looking for someone to bid on this particular contract to go ahead and take notes. They didn't want to take notes, so they actually had a contract out for that. Okay, so when I say the contracts are out here for any and everything for women's personal items within, again, I'm talking about the women's shelters, the orphanages, the foster homes. They need this stuff for the women's shelters. And then when they talk about sexual education, they are looking for particular products to support them as they talk about this. And so I'm not going to go beyond that, but I'm going to let you guys know I saw a contract that was out there for something that dealt with that. So if unfortunately if the teenagers are active, this is how you prevent this by using this. They're looking for that. They were looking for those particular products. So I want you to let you know your product is not too big. Your product is not too small. It may not seem like it's not going to grow. It's not going to be successful. Any and everything that you do, the government needs. I want you, yes, hygiene products. Any and all hygiene products. Anything dealing with sports, and I'll say, me, I'm trying to stay G or PG. Anything dealing with any, in sports, you get the, itchy areas and stuff. Guess what? They need those things. Okay. They need the prisons, they always need like socks. They need undergarments. They need pillows. They need mattresses. They need sheets. They need covers. They need soap. Okay. Again, when we look at what do we need in our own household, the government needs it 100,000 times more because their household consists of at least 16 million people. Okay, so not only do they need to provide for the federal workers, the state workers, the local workers, they are providing for us. Okay, and when you do have these certifications, then you get invited to certain things, and you also get free resources. And like I said, you get invited and you are put on this database that other companies can look and find you. So this is a database that can only go to others who are certified. And you do get these emails for an opportunity to go ahead and bid on. So again, it's the sky is the limit. And if you want to be beyond the sky, go ahead and go to space and go over and beyond. So again, if you guys have any questions, reach out to me if I haven't answered your questions. And I really, really look forward just to great things that you guys are going to accomplish. Y'all have a super great day.